All right, I'm set up in Port Washington. It's about 61 degrees outside today. I think it's March 9th today, 2026, and it's super nice outside. I'm set up along this alley, downtown Port Washington. We'll see how the painting goes. I'm gonna try to incorporate a good chunk of this wall here in the foreground and then create a focal area kind of way back towards the horizon of the lake. Here's my panel. So I think this is about 6 by 12, somewhere in that size. Not positive. Got my brushes here, palette, and we're ready to go. All right, and this is where things ended up with the painting. I've been out here painting now for about 3 hours, maybe 2.5 hours, but I think I'm done. This was a really challenging painting to make. I think part of that problem I had was that my composition was sort of naturally broken up into these third sections here, and I wasn't really that excited about it as I continued making the painting. So after I was pretty much done blocking in all of the information, this was like an hour and a half ago, I took my palette knife and just sort of like roughed up the surface. You can see some of those more organic kind of rough edges on those shapes. Those are areas that I left alone after taking the palette knife through. But once that was done, what I really liked was going in and picking out more specific details and small shapes to create some contrast in the painting. So I'm liking it a lot more now. If I was going to do this painting again, I probably would move the wall farther to the left or the right, just to kind of create more of a high contrast in terms of proportions. So that was sort of the lesson with this painting. I'll be keeping this one for my 2-person plein air exhibition at Kim Storage Gallery this fall. It's a Milwaukee gallery in the 3rd Ward District. Our show is going to open on October 2nd. It's going to be the fall gallery night in Milwaukee, so there'll be a ton of new exhibitions to come and check out in Milwaukee. I hope you'll join us and save the date. Here's what my palette looked like at the end of the session. It's surprising how warm it was today with the sun out and it being in the low 60s. I actually think I may have gotten sunburned on my right arm, but honestly, for early March, I'm not complaining. This is my view once again. The other challenge I had was that there were a few cars that were sort of coming and going in this part of the painting, and I actually really like how the scene finished in terms of like the changes, because I like these really dark shapes in here. I didn't go quite as dark in that part of my painting, but I'm pretty happy with how this turned out overall. So I'm gonna bring it home, kind of look at it. I might adjust a couple things in the studio. I don't typically do that, but with a painting like this, I feel like I put up such a long fight trying to get it into a space that I was really excited about. And I prefer to leave the easel on location feeling totally resolved with the painting, whether I love it or hate it. And this one's kind of in the middle, so I think it might need a little bit more work, and I'll probably just work off of this video and maybe a photo or two that I take before I head out. So anyway, thanks for watching. I hope this was interesting, and I will talk to you soon.